What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on this motherfucking YouTube shit. This is serious. Wow, what the fuck?
What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on YouTube shit. Amen. Say, man, we are lit, eh? Leave the riches, man. Turn up. Today? It's motherfucking day. Straight heading outside, big crib. Yes, sir. The biggest crib out here, man. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to these videos up, man. We trying to have a litty time on this bitch, man. Fuck with your boy. You dig? The grind did not stop, man. We finna get these videos out today, man. Coming to y'all as a black Hebrew Israelite, man. As a Jew, man. We turned, man. We know the truth. Thank Yahweh. So let's get into this video, man. Fuck with your boy, eh? And alright. Boom. So today, two motherfucking day, putting outside crib, man. We finna talk about Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson. Mama, sure go that man. Hey man, say man, we've been listening to Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy on the NBA analyst for a long time. You know what I'm saying? We've been watching them motherfuckers for a long time. You know, they be on 2K, basketball, and everything. Now, they done got fired. Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy done got fired, man. The thing about these type of shit, man, is personalities. You know what I'm saying? The NBA wants you to be like a robot. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to have no emotions, no outbreak, no nothing. They want you to be like a robot. Boop, boop, boop. Good job. Mama church goes that man. You know what I'm saying? Just weird shit, man. And you know, Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson, you know, they've been on the NBA for like years. So, you know, after a minute, you get used to it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, when you get used to some shit, you start thinking like, okay, they let me do this. Maybe if I take an inch more, I can do that and this and that. And, you know, the NBA don't be fucking around with that shit, man. You know, remember, you are replaceable in anything you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't always get comfortable. Because when you get comfortable, that's when they come for you, when you comfortable. They wait till you get comfortable. When you get really super comfortable, bro, they coming for your head. So, you know, they trying to do a new analyst, Doc Rivers and his female analyst. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks to see people like Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy get fired from ESPN. You know, them niggas been on that bitch for forever. That's almost like watching what's that shit called? ESPN with that other white dude and the bald-headed black dude. They be like on around the horn and shit. Them niggas. Like, you know, some people just don't see on that bitch forever. Like Stephen A and Skip. You expect to see these niggas on, not even ESPN, just like on basketball talk for a long ass time. So we got Wiley, Mark Wiley. I think he's like one of the analysts who knows these motherfuckers, and he finna get into more detail of what went down. So make sure you like, subscribe to the videos, and let's get into it.
Jackson, there go that man again. He gone? Mr. One-Liner? Oh, man, let's talk about it. All right, so yesterday, we were listening to all the sports media talk, and you saw that his role may be reduced as an ESPN NBA analyst, and some even said it was in peril. Well, by the end of that day, he was in the same position as Jeff Van Gundy. Gone. That's what they did to him, right? And then they broke on Twitter that this just in, Mark Jackson told me he was let go by ESPN. He had 2 years left on his contract. Jeff Van Gundy was let go weeks ago. That came from Peter Vesey. All right. So now you're sitting back like, damn, Mark Jackson gone too? 12 years there, 2 different stints. We know he was the coach of the Splash Brothers and was ahead of the game and calling them the best scoring duo he's ever seen. And then people were clowning him. And then obviously he lost his job there to go back to ESPN. But let's talk through the beats of this before we talk about what's happening here. So Andrew Marchand's report that Jackson could stay on and join play-by-play player Mark Jones on the network's second team. But if he balked at that option, he could be headed out of ESPN. He said that, but obviously it looks like Mark Jackson just balked at it, did not want to do that. Okay, so they're going to now allegedly have Breen, Doris Burke getting promoted, and Doc Rivers back on air. Now, a lot of people have been talking about this for a while. Like, that's what ESPN's going to do. That's what ESPN should do. Interesting, right? So he's been there before. We know Doc Rivers in the same position Mark Jackson was. And I told y'all about a month ago, that will be redundant if they brought back Doc Rivers. So as soon as we heard Doc Rivers, we shouldn't have been saying and Doc Rivers, should have been saying or Mark Jackson, right? That's what it was. So people are perceiving this new duo, Doris Burke and Doc Rivers, better than Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson. Do you think that way? Let me tell you why the perception is that it's better. It's because simply it's not perceived to be bitter. Damn it, damn it, damn it. For some reason, Mark Jackson is perceived to be bitter. And then Jeff Van Gundy does come off as bitter. Jeff Van Gundy did his part to come off as bitter. But everyone thought that Mark Jackson would be bitter. Remember every time he went back to Golden State, we were always watching and listening extra carefully. Like, we hear any salt? Taste any salt? Any salt in the air? And I never caught it. Y'all may have. Show me some receipts. Never caught it. But that always has been the cloud, the perception. The reality of Jeff Van Gundy, and then obviously being Stan's brother, and we know the issues that Stan had with ESPN, and he had the issues of trying to be on the big show. That didn't work because of his relationship with the NBA, and then that's your brother. We heard the bitterness. We heard Jeff Van Gundy tell us, okay, that ain't good for business necessarily, what you just said, but you're a damn good broadcaster. But Mark Jackson in the same position, I never saw that, never thought that. So now they're going to have Doris Burke, who is certainly qualified for that role. Nobody going to slight Doris Burke. I think universally love Doris Burke for what she does and brings to the game. And her voice, like Anita Baker up there singing, but she just talking basketball. Just such a good voice. I'm like, yeah. You know, I catch her. I love Doris Burke, so can't go there. But Doc Rivers, let's just say he ain't gonna bring the smoke, or is he gonna bring the smoke? If we're gonna get Doc Rivers, or we gonna get some Sean Payton, or we gonna get one of those coaches who got the coach's hat on, who gonna protect everything and everybody, because you know, they still a part of the fraternity. That will be interesting to see, that we're gonna see a coach who, I don't wanna say limbo, but at a moment's notice can get a job. So then how far does that guy go into the lane that Sean Payton went into at Fox and then had to go back, and then when he went back, didn't know how to act? You know what I'm talking about? So I'm just interested in this right now. No lie, I like Mark Jackson and Van Gundy because I'm used to them way more on paper than I would Doc Rivers and Doris Burke. But I see that's a safe bet based on what went down in the playoffs last year with Van Gundy especially. And let's just say rocky terrain ahead for the NBA in terms of the commentary that comes from a Jeff Van Gundy, or even a Mark Jackson without Jeff Van Gundy. Who do you pair him with? So it sounds like they just wanted to go clean slate. And I ain't bring up Mike Breen's name too much because Mike Breen ain't going nowhere. That sucker there is a scientist in terms of how he calls the game. So just an interesting one, you know, nothing too deep about this. This is one of those, let's clean house since we already cleaning, and let's make sure it's spotless, if you get what I'm saying. Like Doc Rivers doesn't come in with the same things, and the Christian or the values that people were upset or just had to understand about Mark Jackson. And then the coaching issues that he had in Golden State, and would it be weird? He, to me, went right by all that. But that's still something in the conversation. Let's be real. It's out there. And Jeff Van Gundy just kept adding logs to the fire. Like, he didn't give a damn. So this is a cleaner, safer bet. But will it be a better bet is the conversation. So you agree with ESPN firing Mark Jackson? I say no. No, find a way. But, you know, when I tell y'all about the ego on descent, like the demotion, the demoted ego, remember we were talking about Mike Tirico. And I was like amazed that he took the demoted ego for 6-7 years. Mark Jackson sounded like he couldn't take it for 6-7 minutes. He was like, hell no, y'all ain't doing that to me. And where should he go next? Ooh, Mark Jackson on TNT? Yeah, he need to go get Reggie Miller or Chris Webber. Is he still doing it? Like, yeah, Mark Jackson should go get one of them roles too, right? Or would you be happy with the new team of Mike Breen, Doris Burke, and Doc Rivers? That making you smile? Smile as big as the old team, or smile bigger because you like this new team?
I'll be back. So yeah, so Mark Wiley was just telling us, man, that basically they you know, they've done a lot, you know what I'm saying? Egos, pride, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers have ways they want to do the broadcasting, you know what I'm saying? And when you don't get the way you want to do it, you know, you start pouting. Or you start doing it a different way than what it's supposed to be done. And the NBA is like a system. You know what I'm saying? The parts can always get replaced. You feel me? Even the person over NBA, that white dude, can get replaced. You know what I'm saying? And so Doc Rivers, you know all that Doc Rivers done got fired, you know what I'm saying, from the Philadelphia coaching staff. And it's crazy how he got fired and he already got a job with the ESPN. You know what I'm saying? It might be over for a lot of the, not for Mark Jackson, but I don't know about Jeff Van Gundy, you know what I'm saying? I guess it's just the season of changing the ESPN's analysts around, because you know Shannon Love, Jeff Van Gundy, and Mark Jackson gone. Everybody's getting cabooted. You know what I'm saying? They trying to get new talent. You did, and I feel like, man, Doc Rivers, man, I really don't know how he would sound as a sports analyst. You know what I'm saying? He'd be more, you know, he's more of a coach. You know what I'm saying? But you know, he got an attitude, you know, because it takes a little bit of an attitude to work with the Clippers and go to the 76ers. But that's what they were saying about the Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, man. They had attitudes, you know what I'm saying? And once you got attitude, man, once people start not liking you, man, you can be the best analyst in the world. Give it down to the spot teeth. The fans might fuck with you. But as soon as the people you work with don't fuck with you, you know what I'm saying? That's the part you gotta be worried about. Not even always, because you know sometimes it takes a minute for people to get replaced. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's like when as long as you do your job good, you good. But if you get any motherfuckers something to complain about, bruh, you know, you're just making it harder for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, the NBA is more one of them motherfuckers who want to be like a robot. Boop. Bout, boop, Chris Paul, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. You know what I'm saying? So they be like, they want you to be spot on. They don't want you to have no personality. They don't want you to have no fun. They don't want you to have no type of attitude towards the players or anything, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's hard, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, people come at your head on the internet. You got people talking, like, especially for Shannon Sharp. You know, they had people come at his head on the internet, on Twitter. He got robbed. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, niggas, these are real motherfucking people who can get injured. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers can get injured or talked about And they can't say nothing, you know what I'm saying? They just supposed to do their job and go to the crib and do what it do. And, you know, like I said, when Espn, Gundy, and Mark Jackson, they been on that bitch for so long, man, they feel like they can control everything, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we they favorites. They fuck with us. We been on this bitch for 7 to 8 years. Fuck they talking about. But, you know, the owners, they most, 9 times 10 are white. They're not gonna fuck with you that long. They replacing you. Cause it's a business. And you know, I'm proud they fired Espn Gundy, but Espn Gundy was the first one to get fired. You know, Espn Gundy, he was like one of them motherfuckers who kind of act black. So, you know, they probably had to get that nigga out the way in the first place. Alright, you gotta go, nigga. You ain't acting white. You trying to act black. Ugly ass. But I fuck with both of them. You know, they had they moments where they was talk shit. And when they were beef with other people, you know what I'm saying? You know, but it just brought entertainment to the system, to the NBA. You feel me? You know that we gonna get that mama, here goes that man. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas making jokes about some shit. Espn Gundy with some funny, retarded ass, who knows what type of wit. But you know, this is the time for them niggas to expand, to go to a different site. You know, ESPN there's more channels they can go to. You feel me? And that's the good thing about having other sports channels and networks, because you have to stay on that change network and be awkward moments. You can go to a different new network, meet new people, and start your own power movement. So it just, man, at this time, man, I just hope they get a good job, man. They figure out that, hey, sometimes it's not meant to stay in that bitch forever. You know, when the people don't fuck with you, you can keep on trying to work in that bitch and make the guala, but after a minute, you know, it's gonna be time to go. You feel me? And you know, at that moment, you feel me? They've been working that bitch for at least about 6, 5, 7 years. You know what I'm saying? So they've been in that bitch for a long ass time. They done got comfortable. So you know, it was time to go, man. But hey, man, I hope y'all niggas like these videos, man. You know, I can't wait to see the new analyst. You feel me? You did a Crip. Make sure y'all fuck with your boy. We out this bitch. Hood and outside Crip, man. Gang gang.
Hey, Dad, you know, dawg, when we link up, dawg, this shit be legendary. You know this is instrumental, you the engineer on it, so Kodak everywhere.